Okay,
And it's lights out and away we go.
what's up, guys and girls, and welcome back to the GT UK F1 podcast in association with the F1 Hybrid Era UK YouTube channel, and I am joined by my co-host, David.
Hello, folks. I think you need to call me a snappier title than that, mate. That's a bit of a mouthful.
It is a bit of a mouthful, but yeah. So, we are back.
After what feels like an eternity of waiting.
It did. After the chaos of Australia,
Yeah, you forget that was the last race.
yeah, we then now arrive into Baku, and it was
Azerbaijan, the old. Used to be the European Grand Prix, didn't it, back when it first
mm,
came on the calendar?
but it was a sprint weekend. Now,
The first one of this new style of sprint format.
as you know, the sprint style used to be FP1 quali for setting the grid
No, it
for.
used to be FP1. Was it not FP1 sprint quali,
Yeah, but this is
then
what I mean.
FP2, then sprint, then race?
Yeah, but this is what I was getting at. It was FP1 quali for the sprint to set the grid order for the sprint. The obviously, yeah, FP2 was it sprint FP2 then race, something like that. It was a weird order, and then F1. Well, sorry, not F1. Dominicali, in all his wisdom, Stefano Dominicali, decided he would introduce a new format, which was FP1 qualifying for that set the grid for the race, and then Saturday was complete sprint day. So it was sprint shootout, as they called it, and then the sprint race, and then obviously the race on Sunday. Now, I didn't happen to catch the sprint quali.
Neither did I.
I caught obviously FP1, FP1, and yeah, it was, the whole blase usual. Okay, it wasn't thrilling, it wasn't entertaining, and it was rather dull, considering it was Baku. Because, as you know, Baku usually chucks up some goods.
Especially when you get involved.
Yeah. You're referring to our F1 22
F1 Game
race,
Series, yes. Yes, I certainly am. Forever impaled in my memory will that one.
where I ended up taking out the entire grid, almost, and um,
Then I attempted to enter the pit lane at full speed.
yeah, and
Forgot there's a chicane in the way.
about what, 3 cars finished?
Yeah.
The grid was already down to 4 cars, so
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, what are your thoughts on this new format?
I don't get what it's offering because the thing is, the original format where sprint decided the grid for the race. I got that. To me, now the sprint's not doing that. It renders the sprint. It renders the sprint to me a touch pointless because you're losing test time. Well, you test time for racing. I get that. Don't get me wrong. Racing's always good, but there's not a huge amount of points on offer, so what's in it for the teams for doing the sprint? You're sending a car out, you're risking a problem, and there just doesn't seem to be a huge amount of reward on offer for it.
Yeah, I agree because I mean, are they trying to be like the F2? Because obviously F2 have reverse running. They have the reverse run in the F2.
You're in the reverse grids.
Yeah, and yes, I know we're not seeing that in Formula One. There's talk.
And I think we've discussed before, I have my concerns about reverse grids. I'm not a big fan of that,
Mm,
say.
there's
Well, I'm
talk.
not a fan of it the way F1 would do it, I'll put it that way.
No, there is talk of it, but from what I've been reading and what obviously others have said, um, regards of like Crofty and stuff like that, it's been very mixed with
Yeah,
what people thought.
maybe it wasn't the best circuit for testing this format either, maybe Baku's not one. I mean, when's our next one's not for a while, is it? I seem to remember.
I'm not sure when the next sprint is. Don't. It's not. Don't think it
Is
was
it Imola?
Imola. I don't think it was Imola, but I can't be sure. I can actually do a quick check.
Well, I was just about to do that myself.
And obviously, for those that are watching, we are just currently. For those who are watching the video, and or for those who are listening on Spotify, we are just quickly checking our calendars on our phones, or David maybe on Google.
I'm on my second monitor, yeah.
Hmm. Austria's won. Um,
Come on.
but they haven't actually properly updated this calendar yet.
Hmm.
So yeah, no, Austria's probably the next sprint at the moment. I think we've got Austria. Is it Austria, Belgium? The next sprint? No. Yeah, Austria, Belgium. I think
Typical, this page I was reading here says about 60 minutes, but doesn't tell you which ones it was.
Austria, Belgium, Lasalle,
Yeah,
Corta,
yeah.
and
And then
I
Brazil,
think it's Brazil again. Yeah,
Azerbaijan, Red Bull Ring. Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, to be honest, I hope they look at this and go, right, let's go back to the old format.
I don't know about going to the old format. I'm not sure that, like I said, to me personally, I'd remove that Friday qualifying session. I actually quite like the idea of having the sprint quali and then the sprint on the same day. That I'm not.
Well, if it was,
It was also not. It was also annoying for me as somebody who works was the fact that I didn't get to see quali because
mm,
it was on a Friday.
yeah, and that's a lot of that was a lot of people's complaints as well at the fact that they didn't because of the timings on it. They didn't get to see it.
Hmm.
They didn't get to see stuff.
If it was me saying, I'd probably say right, Friday's practice day, 2 practice sessions on a Friday. Saturday sprint quali sprint, but then sprint decides the grid for the race on Sunday.
Yeah,
That would be my proposal.
yeah, kind of not. I'm not against that.
And it means you get the 2 practice sessions before you put Parc Ferme rules in, because then once you hit sprint quali, you can Parc Ferme it.
Yeah,
And it also kind of keeps it like a progression because it's the practices, then the qualies, then the race.
yeah, and the sprint race was a bit there.
Apart from the loose tire rolling down the track.
Yeah. Why? why
Delilah.
did why didn't
It's,
Yuki get stopped?
yeah, why did he have to drive a crabbing car round a full lap? I know. I think there'll be a big fine for the team there, 'cause that's releasing a car in an
That
unsafe condition.
yeah, that's an unsafe class as an unsafe release. Why? That just I mean,
You
okay,
could see the back tyre was out of whack. You could.
yeah. So why did they bodge it and
Well,
why
they
did
didn't
they?
even budge it, did they? They just set the car back out.
No, but that's what I mean. Why did they basically put another tyre on and
Yeah.
off you go? And it was like,
Yeah, there'll be a good fine will go the team's way for that one. If it was me personally like that, I'd have banned them from the weekend just to make an example, because you'd stop any other team trying a trick.
mm, I mean, well, the FIA are already investigating themselves, but we'll get onto that later. Um, yeah, but yeah,
Well,
this okay.
insert that meme of Barack Obama giving a medal to Barack Obama at this point.
Mm, and it's just like it was like, what the hell are you doing, AlphaTauri in it? And
But then to drive the car around the full lap, as soon as they probably should have parked it,
yeah,
because they
and
knew it was out the race at that point.
I mean we had the coal powered, where was it? The sprint? Yeah, I think it was the sprint. We had the coal powered Alpine.
Was that not a quali session?
I can't remember. Was it quali or was it the
I thought that
sprint?
was, I thought that was, I don't think that was in the sprint race. I can't remember see. I remember seeing online about that, but I never saw it in the actual sprint race when I watched. I didn't watch it live. I watched it back Saturday night.
It could have been quali then. We had the coal powered Alpine.
Mm.
That car just, yeah, they were. It was kind of weird because when you saw the marshals deal, I think it was quali. The marshals were very reluctant to deal with it.
Well, they've got to watch now, haven't they? Because of the electric systems.
Hmm.
They need to know that system's isolated before they're allowed to touch the car.
Yeah, but you could just see the color. Look at, I mean, you saw the color of the smoke. It was brown. I mean, what?
It was on brand good Italian coffee.
It it was just weird. It was a weird color. It wasn't. You expect fire smoke. You expect black, not
Usually,
brown.
smoke out of a vehicle, you can tell what's burning by the colour of the smoke.
Yeah, but that was literally brown smoke.
Yeah,
I mean, it took him a while to get stopped. I mean, it's very lucky he didn't take it back into the pits.
mm.
I mean, it might have done him more, but there might have been a lot more people to deal with it if it had been in the pits. But I mean, fair play. Fair play. They got it sorted and got him out for
Yeah.
the sprint and the race. But yeah,
At least he didn't do a Ferrari and just full on detonate.
yeah, and yeah, but where's that's another thing. Going back to like the quali and stuff. Where's that pace come from for Ferrari? It was a good segue and all there.
Professional. Yeah, well, where that pace come from? They did say they'd rushed a few upgrades through to this event, hadn't they?
Hmm.
One or two teams had, because they seem to get pace, and Merck seemed to be nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, McLaren didn't. McLaren didn't seem to have pace either. Well, they kind of did, but kind of didn't.
Oh, McLaren have made a jump forward from where they were in Australia. I mean,
Well,
both cars into the top 10.
well, then yeah. But yeah, the sprint race was just quite. What was your opinion on the sprint race?
Uh, Not a massive amount of excitement. Like I say, the loose tyre rolling down the road was about the only. But like I say, the format they've got it in, to me, it just renders the sprint pointless. Because like I say, because you're going out, you're risking crashing or a blow up
Mm.
for like 8 points.
Well, yeah.
There just doesn't seem to be enough of an incentive there for me. Let's say at least when you set the grid for the race, you had that incentive to do well because it was going to affect your Sunday.
I mean, yeah. I mean, there was a bit of. To be honest, I don't know what Russell was thinking, but I don't know what Max was thinking either.
It was a
Yikes.
full on. It was a first corner, well, second corner, I guess. It was a first, second corner racing incident, 100%. Nobody was really to blame. Tyres are cold. A lot of cars close together on a circuit where you've not a lot of space.
No.
And two cars came together. Now, neither of them were out. If
No.
Max had been put into the wall and retired, I'd have said yes, probably penalty to Russell.
He did.
But as
He did sustain side pod damage though.
Yeah, but it wasn't enough to cause retirement.
No, but it was enough to it was enough to cause him a significant performance loss.
Well, that's the excuse he comes out with. That's Racing drivers are always good when it comes to excuses.
That's what Bernie said and all. The,
Bernie?
yeah, the,
Oh yeah, Bernie.
the ex Aston
So
Martin strategist.
sorry, you say Bernie in the world of F1, and my brain autofills Eccleston.
Yeah, well, but it's just like,
We've said it before, and the FIA have actually got quite good at letting first corners, letting there be a bit more leeway, just because it's the first corners, a lot of cars together,
hmm,
and we want them to race. We want them to be willing to get their elbows out and have a go.
yeah,
And that's what that was. It was George having a go. Now, George himself admits that Merc, they've made an improvement, he's still not fast.
no,
So as a result, he's having to do moves like that when they come up, just to try and, just to try and gain what he can.
oh well, we know that.
I mean, I've got more to discuss about Russell when we get to the actual race itself, because
Hmm.
that's one of my big sticking points from the race involves him, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Other than that, all I'll say about the sprint was good on Perez, well driven.
As
That
per,
Ferrari qualifying pace didn't translate to actual racing pace,
it
which
never
we kind of
does.
expected.
It never does with a Ferrari though. That was the thing. I mean, Perez, you know, he's just a tire whisperer, absolute tire whisperer.
Yeah, it's an awesome drive, as usual, from the Mad Mexican.
See, the weird thing was, they were saying right for the sprint. I don't know if it was for the was it sprint quali or was it sprint? No, it was a sprint shootout thing. They were setting which tires that the drivers had to go on. And the one thing I will say is please, Codemasters. I know you haven't revealed the trailer yet, but do not include the sprint shootout in the game, otherwise it's going to be a pile of.
Now, I never saw the shootout, you see, so I don't actually even really know what happened there.
Well, they were basically for the shootout. They basically had to do um, Q1 like SQ1 on certain tires.
Right.
I can't remember which one. I think it was the softs, and then mandatory. Then it was mandatory everybody had to be on the mediums
All right.
for I think it was SQ2 and 3. And it was just like what? It's just like well you
Well,
now
let's be honest, the softs weren't a good tyre for Baku. I think
no.
actually I think the softs they said were too soft.
Hmm.
Because I mean, the only thing they were really useful for was for Russell to steal that fastest lap at the very end.
Yeah. And yeah, okay. The sprint was what we expected for a sprint race, but like you, I kind of agree with you. Baku was probably the wrong choice of track for it.
Yeah, see how it goes. Because I mean, the Red Bull Ring's an interesting choice. You know, I love that circuit.
Yeah, Spielberg won't be so bad because I'm sure they've had that. Have they not had that there before the sprint?
I don't think they did. Yeah, because which one was we raced it last weekend? Was that sprint race? So one after it was Austria, wasn't
Yeah,
it? This is a bit of meta here, folks, because we did a couple of F1 races
and one was
last week on 22, and one of them was a sprint weekend, and I'm pretty sure it was
Austria.
Austria.
Yes, it was.
Hmm.
And that video will be out soon on the on the F1 channel, where this podcast will be. Obviously, if you are listening as
Aye.
well, it'll be on Spotify and other places. Which, if you're watching on the video, you will see the icons where it is available.
But yeah, we're hitting the big leagues this time next year, Rodney.
Oh, aye. And now we get to the race part.
Part deux.
Yeah. Well, whether we can call it that because it technically was.
Hmm.
So obviously Leclerc was on pole.
Yeah, as he had been for the sprint as well. He round out qualified nicely and then just went backwards in the race.
Yeah, but they obviously that's what he got in SQ1 and SQ2 and SQ3. You know what I mean? That's what
Yeah,
the qualifying sprint shootout was part for just setting the order for the sprint. But obviously qualifying on the Friday, which was basically set the grid for the Sunday, which confuses a lot of people.
yeah. Like I say, that's the bit that I sort of had issue with. But
And Leclerc got away well at the beginning.
you kind of knew though from the word go that he was only biding time. He was never going to be able to hold off
He's definitely not going to
the
hold off
charging
the. He
bulls.
definitely wasn't going to hold off the Red Bulls. Not a chance. I mean, the Red Bulls, uh,
They were clocking about
missiles.
212 mile an hour by the bottom of the straight, weren't they, with DRS? Insane speeds.
Yeah, and the one thing that one thing I'm going to point out already is the fact that why shorten the DRS zone again?
I guess because they were worried last year that it was too easy because it was so long. But then again, wasn't that much different.
No, there wasn't a lot of difference in the DRS zone. What did they shorten it by? Was it 100 meters?
Yeah, it's about 100 meters, the one on the main straight.
Yeah, and it was like,
I don't
well,
think they touched the one after turn two.
no, no, no. It was only the main straight one they altered, and it was just like, well, why? You know, what's the point messing? Are you gonna do, are you gonna do this at? Are you gonna mess around with the DRS at Monza? Are you gonna mess? It just, you know, you went on with, you started the race and it was like, yeah, no, not what you expected from Baku. And the problem is because we've got Miami, Imola, and something else coming up. Can't remember on my brain.
There's Monaco in the middle of there.
Yeah. Um.
We've got like 5 races in about 6 weeks coming up, haven't we?
Yeah. And I reckon they would be. I reckon they would be a little bit cautious as well,
Possibly, yeah.
considering the fact that they've got to go instantly go like leave Baku on this.
Miami.
Yeah, leave Baku to go to Miami.
Yeah, because they're flying across there. And I think did they get is it a 1 week break and then we've got 3 in a row, I think.
Um. We'll just check the calendars again.
We like to have our facts right, folks. We like to know we're working on good
So
information.
yeah, so we've got 5th to the 7th, obviously Miami, 19th to the 21st, Imola, then
Yeah.
Monaco, and then Spain.
Yep.
So yeah, they're the three sort of.
So 3 of them are street circuits. So if Perez wins both of those,
Oh, yeah, he'll have a yeah. So he's got. It's just, yeah. It wasn't the best Baku we've had though.
No, what was it? I mean, we had what was it? One safety car because De Vries decided to park in an awkward place.
Yeah, but no.
You know,
But that's another point. It took him ages to chuck out that safety car.
yeah.
I don't think they realised he had damage.
No, really, unless you look closely, I mean, you could tell. As soon as you looked in, you could see that the front wheels were pointing in different directions.
Hmm.
But I suppose if you were just quick glancing at it, you weren't.
Yeah, that's why they ended up chucking the BSC first.
Yeah. Now we have to say it was true that Max was unlucky with timings. Perez was lucky,
Yeah.
but I still have to say that once Perez was in front, he had Max pinned all day.
Oh yeah.
He was able to just do enough. Every time you saw the gap come down a little bit, it suddenly got back out to about 2.5 seconds.
Hmm.
And you know for a fact Max isn't the kind of person who's going to take the back off order well.
Well, look at Brazil.
So I can't imagine that Max was going to be holding back particularly.
One
I
thing
mean,
I.
he'd probably rather it was his teammate won it than another team, but at the same time, I think if he'd have had a sniff at it,
Oh,
he'd have gone for it.
oh yeah. The gloves would have come off.
But Perez just had it under control.
Yeah. I mean, even at a restart, it was you know
Hmm.
he managed it.
Speaking
And
of safety cars, that comes into what my point, my one sticking plaster from the race. I'm not sure because as far as I'm aware, it's still the case. It's still illegal to overtake in the pit lane. It's illegal to overtake under a safety car. Yet somehow there was a definite shot where Russell got past Stroll in the pit lane. I've killed him.
yeah. I know which
Russell
incident you mean. Stroll was going at the pitch. Russell comes right along the left-hand side of him.
and goes in front. From the
Yeah.
onboard shot from Stroll's car, Russell was ahead.
Mm. Before the timing line.
Now, to me, even if number one, you don't want cars running side by side down the pit lane because there's so much risk involved there.
Mm.
That to me is a no-no to begin with. But the fact that he clearly got in front, to me, he should have been penalised. I don't fully get how they managed to get away with just it being noted and no actual action being taken.
Because technically it's the pit lane. Yes, it's still a live track, but because it's not the actual racetrack, I think that's how he got away with it. If he'd
Yeah,
done if he'd done that on track, then yeah, he'd have been basically right. Get back behind.
and it was also a sheer piece of luck that Mercedes pit box was before Aston Martin's.
Yeah.
But
Oh
you
yeah.
don't want cars running side by side down the live
No.
pit lane when there's mechanics and that out working.
Well, no. It was like Perez is pitting Leclerc.
That to me was borderline. That to me was the correct
No,
call.
I'm not saying anything against it. I'm
Oh
just
no, I'm not.
I'm just
I know
saying
what you mean. It was a tight release, but to me, what Leclerc didn't have to take avoiding action.
he locked up.
Yeah, but was that just? I don't think he had it because he got a little bit unsighted by the car suddenly appearing. The cars were never close to
No,
like
no,
impact.
no, no. They weren't close enough to be classed as an unsafe release. It never got noted. That's why it never got noted. I don't think.
It
Did it?
did.
No.
It got investigated, and he got no investigation
Oh right,
needed.
okay. But then it's just like, yeah, he locked up, but you'd probably lock up if you had someone come and
Yeah, because he'll be focused entirely on his pit box by that point.
yeah. No, it was. He didn't have to. He didn't have to take action against him. He just locked up.
Hmm.
So that's why they didn't do him over it. Which, you know,
Yeah, I just think Russell got very, very lucky there. I say to me, there should possibly have been a penalty in line for that one.
mm, I mean, yeah, it's weird what the direction how they do this, and I know they've got all this battle cam and everything like that. They did actually focus more on battles this time. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, they missed Norris doing an absolute blinder of an overtake live
well on K-Mag.
on turn. Is it turn 7?
Surely the best overtake today goes to Alonso's opportunist move on Sainz.
Yeah.
That was a lovely move, was that? Out of turn 3 into 4.
Mm. Problem is though, Alonso's wise.
Oh, Alonso's taking every bit of experience he's got and putting it to good use,
I mean,
which is great to see.
did you see how close he was to Leclerc at the end?
Mm.
He was pushing to get that podium.
Oh yeah,
It was nuts. You know, he's Alonso may be the age he is, but he's still got it.
oh yeah.
And now he's got that car under him as well.
He's going to show what he's capable of.
Yeah.
I could see him getting a win this year. It's going to take a retirement, some funny doings from further up, but it's not off the cable.
No.
If we get he's comfortably running sort of third. If we get an incident where, say, Verstappen and Leclerc run into each other or something silly,
Mm.
he could very easily be there to pick up the pieces.
Oh yeah. That car is working for him. I mean,
Mm.
Stroll didn't have too bad of a
When he,
race.
when he was radioing through, give Stroll my brake balance setup, see what he thinks.
This is
The
what I
next thing you see,
mean.
Stroll run off the track.
Yeah. But it's like Alonso's has been known to be quite ruthless when it comes to teammates, and he seems to be very, um, very helpful to Lance. I mean, obviously,
I,
yeah,
I think, and I don't know how to put this without sounding like I'm being rude to Lance, because I'm not, but he doesn't seem much of a threat there. It's not like he's fighting for a championship.
no,
I think if it was the case, if there was a championship on offer, I don't think he'd be being as helpful, especially if his teammate was one of the rivals for him. But as it stands, I think he's sort of out there with no expectations on him, and I think that's doing him the world of good.
hmm. I mean, yeah, he's had a good couple of races, and hopefully he has another gun in Miami. Hopefully he can return to the podium in Miami.
I hope so. My fantasy team will appreciate it.
Oh yeah, and really, it there was a couple of a couple of people kissing the wall, and
Yeah, and also we saw K-Mag do it again now. Don't forget, K-Mag did it in Australia, wasn't it?
yes,
It was K-Mag that hit that wall in Australia randomly.
mm,
But
Hulkenberg got mugged towards the
yeah,
end.
well, the trouble is they'd been trying such a different strategy, hadn't they? Because
Yeah,
him and Ocon did that just run till the tyres fall
I'll get to walk on. Um,
off. Yeah, yeah, Ocon plays quite heavily in the final part of this conversation, I would
yeah,
think.
and Perez kept it quiet about his little brush with a wall. Because wasn't it his race engineer come on on
And
the
what happened at
radio?
turn 15? Yeah.
Yeah. But it was just
Obviously didn't want to worry his team.
no. But he was. That's the thing. He's yet again. I'm guessing you driver of the day you voted Perez because
Yeah,
I
because I
did.
think he, yeah, 'cause I think he genuinely deserved it. And I say we all know I'm a big Perez supporter, and today was a good day for it. But he genuinely drove that perfectly.
Yeah. And it was just yeah. I mean, excuse me. What more can we really say apart from it wasn't one of the best? It was good drive,
No,
good drive from Perez, but not one of the best.
there was a few good drives up and down the grid. Perez had a good run. Because say, don't get me Max didn't have a bad do, but he just couldn't have the he just couldn't get onto the back of Perez. And
Mm.
the new guys are having a tough time coming in. De Vries didn't have the best race. Piastri had a solid race.
Did Sargent retire?
Don't think he did. I think the only two retirees were Zhao and De Vries, weren't
Yuki not. Did we're fact checking again. Give us a second.
they?
We want to get this correct because
Yeah, this
uh,
one. Yeah, the only DNS were Nick De Vries and Guan Yu Zhou.
oh right, yeah, okay,
De
so
Vries finished 9 laps and Zhao finished 36.
yeah, and then yeah, Bottas got mullered.
Hmm.
Um, Hulkenberg got mugged in the end. Logan Sargent, yeah, not so bad. Gasly, not so bad. Albon is definitely just kind of outperforming him, but that's to be kind of expected.
Yeah.
Um, oh yeah, no, Yuki didn't have a bad race because Yuki got the last point, didn't he?
Yeah, there was a bit of a kerfuffle right at the end, one because it was everyone piling up behind Hulkenberg
Hmm,
towards the end of it.
yeah. I mean, if Piastri had have got Yuki, that would have been a double points finish from McLaren. Not
Which, as
many
you say,
points,
compared
but
to where they were at the very beginning of this season.
hmm. And now I'm going to just kind of round this off. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter one podcast episode than normal, but I'm
But
gonna
honestly, there wasn't a huge amount. Like I said, that was, apart from the big incident at the end, which I'm guessing is what you're going to come on to now,
yeah.
which is where seriously somebody needs to lose their job over this.
What did I say to you? Something about a P40. Somebody getting a P45.
Well, somebody needs to because
That
the
this was crazy. So obviously, anybody on the internet can search the Ocon incident at Baku, and I think it was obviously pointed out, and there was I'm not the biggest fan of Ted Kravitz, and even he said
well,
that
it was him because him and the commentator seemed to know about it before
yeah.
most of the others.
So obviously Crofty and like Karun and
That's something
Kravitz.
else. Well, no Martin again.
I think Martin will be back for Miami.
Just no Martin again. He seems to be. I know he's getting older now. Don't get me wrong, but he just seems to be skipping one or two more
Hmm.
lately.
And basically Ocon hadn't pitted, or Ocon still had to pit again.
No, he hadn't pitted at all because he'd started from the pit lane
Oh yeah, he did, didn't? Did he
and he
start?
had to. That's what they were saying because they thought 'Cause at one point they weren't sure if he still was able to pit. Now, if he hadn't have pitted, it'd have been an instant DQ.
Yeah, he'd have been disqualified, wouldn't he? So Ocon comes trundling into the pits to a pit lane full of photographers because they'd already started setting up for Parc Ferme for the end of the race.
Yeah, before the
Somebody,
cars had.
yeah, somebody had let in the like FIA approved photographers and all this lot. Next minute, you see Esteban Ocon coming into the pits. One guy was very lucky, is all I will
Oh yeah,
say.
the one or two were really close. It was almost a throwback to rallying in the 80s.
Hmm,
If you remember those videos.
yeah. And yeah, what a shambles. What an absolute shambles that was.
Like I say, somebody's gonna have to be serious on that. Somebody's gonna have to lose their job or something because you can't have stuff like that happening.
No. You know, that was still a technically a live pit lane.
Yeah,
The checkered flag hadn't been chucked because it was the last lap. Sort of,
the
it was
thing is, they've probably got away with that for a long time because most of the times every car's pitted by that point, so they know nothing's coming.
yeah,
But unfortunately, on this one occasion, that wasn't the case.
no. And yeah, Ocon basically, Christ. That could have been ugly. They'd have, I think if somebody had got injured there, they'd have red flagged that.
Well, they'd have had to. If somebody got injured, that would have been there'd have been serious discussions. There'd have been,
There's still gonna be serious discussions.
maybe we need to. I don't know. There needs to be changes in the way the press are allowed around live pit lanes and stuff, which I know isn't great because we like the reporters there because that's how we get our information. But you can't have,
Yeah, but it
you
wasn't.
can't
It
you can't put
wasn't.
people in any more risk than you have to.
Yeah, but it
Is how
wasn't.
I put it.
It wasn't the press. It was that. It was the FIA's own appointed photographers
Mm,
that was causing that kerfuffle. That got caught in that. It was their own appointed people. So it was like, yeah. I mean, it was dangerous. It and the other thing I'm going to bring up before we finish is
yeah.
the pit wall.
Well, the mechanics climbing it again, despite being told they're not allowed.
Yeah, and I don't. I kind of get where the FIA are coming from on the safety stance of it, but if the mechanics had their feet, which we didn't see, you know what I mean? We didn't see where their feet
Yeah,
were. If their feet are firmly placed on concrete by the pit wall bit, I don't see the problem with it.
yeah.
Climbing, yes, I see the issue with, but if the mechanics did have their feet firmly on solid concrete, then what's the issue with them doing it? Mechanics have always done this.
Yeah.
You go back and look at classic races. They were on
Well, it was
they
always the
used to
thing.
be on the sodding track at the side of the
There's,
track.
there's still certain very well. There's still Imola. Monza in it. They still let the crowd onto the track for the podium celebrations and that.
Yeah, but what I mean is, like in the classic races, you see the mechanics and the team at the side of the sodding track when the checkered
Oh
flag's
yeah.
thrown. So I don't understand the FIA's. I might go and look up the sporting regs, see if I can actually find them, and have a
I
fun
I thought
and have a
I thought
fun
about
nighttime read.
I thought about doing that about the overtaking in the pit lane thing with Russell, but I thought no, I'm not having trouble sleeping at the moment, so I don't need to read that.
Yeah, because it is what is it like a stupid amount of pages document, nearly 1,000 pages apparently.
God.
I don't know if that's the true number, but somebody correct me in the comments, or obviously, you could correct me in the comments if I'm wrong at how many pages. But
Yeah. Yeah, if he is wrong, just send an email to chrisisanidiot@gtuk.com. We'll be sure to let him know.
um, but yeah, I get why they do it, but I don't see the issue if the mechanics were had their feet
Yeah, no, I
planted
get what
on
you're
terra
saying.
firma. As long as they're not on the wall, because I get why if you're on the actual pit wall, yes, you could perhaps fall
Fall on the track or
on the
something.
track, but if they're not actually, because they had the pit board dangling out.
Hmm. Which they always do. They have to because only the drivers can see it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But they had the pit board with the arm out, and you could see,
Hmm.
the crew sort of through the little bit in the fence. But I don't, there's no problem with that as long as the feet are on concrete, which we're only to believe the words of Mr. Horner that they were,
Yeah,
because we didn't see it. And we've heard nothing else, no news since, because I think the FIA have got bigger fish to fry right now,
yeah. I think they're working on some other things before they look at that.
like investigating themselves. That's funny that the FIA have got to investigate an FIA official. It's funny, but I know that sounds wrong to say it's funny, but I understand why the FIA, in the context of the FIA investigating the FIA, because it was really dangerous.
Oh yeah.
Not as well, yeah. Would you put that up there with Japan?
It's well, the potential for problems. Yeah, it's the same as.
The
I
whole
mean,
Japan thing.
Japan was also made worse though because that happened to be the same circuit where we obviously lost
Hmm.
Jules.
Yeah.
That's what made that one worse in a lot of ways was because it was the same goddamn track.
Hmm. And obviously, to finish this off, it's the fact that it was marked as the passing of Erlen
Roland
Ratzenberger,
Ratzenberger, yeah,
and also today, at the time of record, I think is the anniversary of the passing of Senna.
of it. And was that 1st of May? I honestly didn't know that.
I believe so, because I saw something out on social about it on the F1
Mm.
socials. So yeah, I think it was today that it
Yeah,
was
because they
passing of.
they died at the same weekend, didn't they? And Ratzenberger often gets forgotten about
Mm,
because it was the weekend we lost Senna.
yeah, but Crofty mentioned Ratzenberger yesterday, so that's
Yeah.
how I knew. But I knew Senna's anniversary was coming up as well.
Mm.
So, have you got any more final words before we finish this one?
Only to have a look at the Fantasy League.
Oh yes, I must show the Fantasy League. So, for anybody that is listening on Spotify or other platforms, we have a Fantasy League, and if you want to actually go and jump over to the YouTube side of this, you will be able the YouTube video one of this, you will see the Fantasy League. So if you just bear with me for 1 second, it is going should. I'm hoping it's going to show. So we do a fantasy league, and
Obviously, you mentioned anybody you're listening, we quite often are joined by a third person, Alan, who sadly can't be here at the moment.
mm,
But between the three of us, just as a bit of fun, we set up a fantasy league going into this season.
well, maybe we should explain why we set this fantasy league up. Because we used to do predictions and we never really stuck to the predictions. So this was a little bit of a funner way that
Yeah,
we could do it. So basically, coming into this weekend, David was in fourth.
I was about fourth or fifth. I was well down.
Yeah, and he's now jumped up to second, and obviously I'm still leading. There's still I could still be caught by David here. I'll point that out. I can still be caught by David
You could be
right
caught by
now.
either of us, really.
Oh, I know I could be caught by either of you, but I'm more at the moment. You're more my danger zone. Considering my points to yours,
Yeah, I'm not that
all
far
you,
behind you.
like I say, all you need is good at Miami, and
Come on, Perez, bring it home for me.
yeah, that's a worry. That's the worry for me.
I'm putting all my faith in our Mexican.
Because if the fact that if Perez does, he's got a double pointer there, so that's like what? That'd be
Well,
about
look how many
100.
points he gave me from back here. Give me 100.
Well, you've got to think that was sprint as well. Some of the sprint points got accounted.
Right, did that.
Yeah, and it was like he got 367 points off that. Um, whereas what did Alan get? Alan got 215. He didn't do too bad. I don't get why. It's interesting how he instantly thought to put his times two on Max because he thought, oh yeah, Max will probably end up winning.
Hmm.
Yeah, that didn't happen, did it?
Luckily, mine's been on Perez pretty much all season.
Then his other team got him 158. Yeah, he did Bottas as well, so Bottas lost him a point like Bottas lost me a point. And on his other team, only scored him 153.
Hmm.
De Vries lost him 15 on that. And yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy how one weekend can really shake it up.
Well, yeah, considering where you were to where you are now, that worries me.
What can we say? The cream always rises to the top.
I'm just looking, yeah, but by looking at your team here, I don't know if you've done any transfers yet.
I feel like I've used all of mine. But as you said, they reset, don't they? So I do have the opportunity to maybe mess around with it. But I was quite happy with my lineup right now.
Hmm. So I'm happy with that, and obviously I know I've done changes to my team. I won't tell you who yet. You'll have to obviously join
You have to find that out next time.
in the next episode. But obviously, if you are listening to it, please go and check out the um, F1 The Hybrid Era UK YouTube channel. Link for that channel will be in the top of the podcast bio. Come over, please subscribe to that. Obviously, our gaming channel side is on there, and obviously, if you'd like to support the podcast, you can do so via the uh, tip page, which is also in the bio. Is there anything else you would like to add to this, David, before we finish?
No, I'd just like to say hello to anyone listening to us through the new methods, through Spotify and the others. Welcome. Hope you enjoy it. Hope you stick around. Check out some of the other stuff we do around here. We put plenty of content out. Not mainly gaming related, but a lot of motorsport, a lot of different things, and I'm sure there's something you'll enjoy. So feel free to hang around.
So, with that, we're going to end this one here. So, until the next episode,
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
it's goodbye from him, and it's goodbye from me. So, goodbye for now.